Okay, here I go. So my name is Denise, and I'm from Mind Gym, and together we will be doing my workout named Cresting the Curve, which means understanding how we react to change. As you all know, I'm a coach. I help managers, executives, and managerial teams go through change. So that's why I have pretty much experience on this subject, and I know, as my friends, that you have all been going through change, and you are on the verge of new changes right now.
Yeah.
And we all discussed together that it can be interesting for you also to better understand how we can adjust and positively react to change.
Looking forward to it.
Okay, so are you all ready?
Yeah.
Great.
Yes.
So let's start with a word. I wanted to do a small exercise, okay? And it's also good to move a bit to, for the learning process. So let's get up. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. I'm going to give you some instructions and you will follow them. This is an exercise so we can see how we really react to change, okay? Great.
Okay.
So, try to remember the name of your favorite school teacher.
This is difficult.
There's none.
Okay, the one you hate most.
Okay, highlights.
Okay, and if her name is starting, or his name is starting with a letter which is one of the first 10 letters of the alphabet, stand this way. If it's the other part of the alphabet, stand here.
The first
The first 10.
First 10 and the rest 90.
A.
Then you're
Yeah.
number one.
Okay, so think of your mother's name, and whatever her second name is, second letter of her first name.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so if it's starting with A, C, D, P, or R, go there. If not, come here.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Align.
Great. So, if you are weighing more than 50 kilos, stay next to me. If you're weighing more than 50 kilos, go over there.
Yeah, that's easy.
You go faster.
Okay, so if you were born outside of if you were born abroad, go to the red cupboard. If you were born in Istanbul, come close to me. If you were born in a city other than Istanbul, go over there.
Only Istanbul.
Istanbul.
Okay, please be seated.
Okay. Any seat?
Any seats. You can change your seats. Actually, that's good. Not too many. So how was that exercise?
Interesting.
Moving.
Yes.
Moving.
Moving.
Okay, did you enjoy that?
Rolling, yeah.
Okay. How did you feel? How did it make you feel?
Well, it was okay. I mean, but not knowing what was next was a little exciting.
Yeah, it excites
Yeah.
you. Okay.
Yeah, it was an exercise. I have to think, you be careful, concentrate, understand the question and, adapt to it, rationalize the question and make a decision.
Okay, so for you it was like more a thought process.
Yeah.
Okay, and how was it for you?
Well, I just followed the instructions.
Yes, sir. How was that for you? What's the experience?
Kind of confusing without knowing what to do next and what's the purpose and
The purpose, the mind tries to understand the logic behind the questions actually. What is this, what are we doing?
Yeah. No,
But
logic
you know,
What
actually.
question is next?
Because this is a familiar environment, I mean, it wasn't stressing, it was exciting. It was like a game.
Mhm.
Here, what we are doing right now. So it wasn't stressful, but just playful.
So I hear you saying it can be stressful.
Of course it can be stressful, but because it seemed like a game to me, so it wasn't stressful, but just exciting.
Okay.
So this, what was the purpose then?
Okay, well actually you're all expressing in different ways how it was your reactions, and we really did this exercise to understand, in different situations we react differently to change. You went through 4 different situations. So it was 4 different changes actually. It was a process, and we react differently to change. That's really the purpose.
Actually, maybe it also depends where the change is
That's good.
and when
Okay, wonderful.
and in which circumstances.
And if I may add to that, how significant it is for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you say if it's here, so it was less stressful.
Yes.
If it was maybe you were sitting someplace and people ask you to get up and do things, maybe it would be more.
Maybe if there were people that I didn't know
If there were an audience looking at us, you know.
and crowded,
Mhm.
it would have been stressful. I wouldn't know if I didn't know what to do, where to go, and it would have been stressful.
Okay, yeah. Thank you for sharing that. So yeah, our point is that change can have different impacts on us, and we can be same situation. People can be reacting in a different way,
Yes.
and as the same person, we can react in different situations to the same change in different ways. And thank you. So you say when, if there's an audience or not. So what makes it more? Is it more stressful if there's an audience?
It would be, I assume, yeah.
Okay.
For me, it would.
Why would it be more stressful? What's the added element there for you? Just
I
asking.
don't know. I always felt uncomfortable when people are watching me and when I'm doing something.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
And why might be that? How do you
Well,
feel when there's not?
Is it you sit down and somebody's asking you to stand up, do things, and you don't know why, in front of people? It's okay like this, you are comfortable.
It's like when there are people around that you don't know and you're afraid of making a mistake. It's like you feel less secure and maybe like you have fear.
Okay. You don't feel secure and it's fearful.
Yes.
Thank you for that. And what makes us afraid actually?
Uncertainty.
Uncertainty.
Yeah.
Making mistakes, that's what she mentioned. Yeah.
Making
Making
mistakes.
mistakes in front of people.
In front of people.
In front of
Because
people, not friends, you know, just people that you don't know.
yeah. So I want to share with you.
We also
please.
need approval.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that might be one of the things. You know, I might feel unapproved in front
Because
of
you want to be
people
the good
if I
girl.
make a mistake.
Mm-hmm. Because you want.
It will cause stress.
Okay. Yeah. So still, I think that this will be a good explanation for what we're talking about. This fancy word, social readjustment rating scale. This is a research done by Holmes and Rahat, two psychiatrists in the 70s, I guess. And they were looking how people react to trauma and to change in stressful situations. And the more we need to socially adjust to a certain new situation, the more we get stressed out.
Yes.
And actually
Can you repeat that, please?
that was what you were telling.
The more?
There is a change, okay, and we have to adjust to that, which
Okay.
actually means there's a transition we have to go through,
Mm-hmm.
yeah? And the more that change requires us more adjustments, like we have to socially adjust ourselves, we have to learn new things maybe, new behaviors, new skills, or we need people to say, oh, you did the right thing, right? So the more we have to adjust, the more it's stressful.
Well,
Yes.
is it like getting married, for example? You get not only married to the person, but also you enter into a new family and new people. So you have to adjust yourself socially
Yes.
to new people.
Marriage is a social thing.
Yeah,
So-
it's a very social thing.
Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, according to this statement, I think marriage can be quite a bit tough socially adjustment stuff.
Especially in Turkey.
With all the mother-in-laws and father-in-law, right? Actually, the same, this theory, the social readjustment scale, they also made a research and they found out that we all go through major events in our lives.
Right.
These are the 20 major events that we go through, and marriage is here, I guess.
Yes.
Even marital
Seventh.
reconciliation is here. Seventh is,
Seventh.
yeah. Actually,
Marital separation is higher. Wow.
marital separation. Well, it's good for you.
That should be a relief.
Well, like we just said, every change has a different impact on different people. So for some person it can be less stressful, for others it can be. So these are the changes. Take a look, and
Marital separation is a very big, it's a huge change because once you have kids and families are involved, kids are involved, and this separation causes, I think, more stress than marriage, of course, because I've been through that, not me myself, but my parents.
Well, it's a process. I think it lasts. Well, sometimes it's 1 year or 2 years or so. So
What's
it's a process.
grading? Is it first one the biggest change?
thank you, Atesh, for asking that. Actually, I'm not sure of that. I have to check that out.
Okay.
All I know is that these are the 20 main big changes
20
that
main big changes.
people go through in their lives.
Yeah, that should be the most
And
stressful.
these
thing.
are the most stressful ones. I'm not sure, but it looks like this is the death of a spouse can be the most
The most stressful
one.
thing in a person's, which causes
Maybe.
Wow, interesting.
stress and
Outstanding personal achievement, that's a positive thing, that's a good thing.
so
Yeah.
it's a change.
What do you think about that?
Interesting.
It's a positive change.
I thought, change usually is something bad.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, there are good changes, sure, when you think about
Yeah, you know what? When you have an outstanding personal achievement, like for example, I'm in real estate.
Mm-hmm.
If I sell a house or a building, let's say, if I earn really good money, I don't know what to do with it.
You can give it to me. No problem. Jihan.
Yeah, it's stressful, actually, because I really wouldn't know what to do. I need consultant.
Yeah.
Consulting. Yeah.
Consulting.
Actually, that's one of the other learnings of today. Thank you, Jihan, for sharing that. Like you can see here, we have positive change and negative change. And actually, that's what I did here. The purple things here, the purple eye marks, yeah.
They are more positive.
For me, they're positive, but maybe for you, marital separation is more positive. I don't know. Of course, like we said, it's all relative. But yes, when we look at the curves, actually, it's also another piece of science I will tell you pretty recently. But when we go through change, no matter what, it creates some stress. Okay, and when we look at the curves, we will be having a chance to analyze that. I want to share with you one positive change, actually. Not the one that I got married with you. Like when my gym called me, I was so excited. I was like, wow, this is nice. I'm going to learn new things, new people, new opportunities. And but then after I learned that there's 45 KPIs and I have to watch 9 hours of video, I get really stressed out, And for a while I thought maybe I don't want to do this tryout video. I gave up. And then when I thought about it, I remembered, look at this curve, we will look at them more attentively now, but there's something called your crisis.
Yes, in positive change, crisis.
Yes, in positive
There
change,
are
there's
ups and
crisis.
downs.
And I realized, gosh, I'm in a crisis, so maybe I should accept, because that's what the next step is, and then I should explore, test. I called you up, guys, I asked for help. I said, I can learn this, I can do it, and then it's the transformation and the learning process started for me. So even if it's a positive change, yes, it can have a crisis, like in marriage. You marry the person, but it's a crisis. Okay. So,
Interesting.
Not all positive changes are positive.
yes,
At the beginning.
exactly. And not all negative changes has to be
Of course,
negative. That's why we're going to look at the curves. So let's all get up.
Okay.
We are only 4 people, so I think I want to make you have some exercise because the more we move, there's more oxygen going to our brain. And the more oxygen we have in our brain, we learn better. Okay? So, let's do some stretching, guys. Let's do some stretching like this. There's an apple you want to reach, okay? And then there's an apple you want to reach. And there's another apple you want to reach. Okay. Now open your arms. Open. Now choose someone. We will do some other exercises. You go to next to each other.
Okay.
You come like this. And now hug each other. Okay. So, now we will look at the curves. I invite you to come first to the positive change curve. Okay? So, positive, both of the curves are based on transition theory. Okay? And transition theory basically says every transition is causing us stress. And these curves are basically showing us the path we go through when we're going through a change. How many phases do you see when you look at the positive change curve?
Are these all phases?
Those are the milestones, and
Okay.
these are the phases actually.
Okay. First shock.
There are 5 phases, 5 major phases.
Condition,
Both sides.
adjustment, inner contradictions, inner crisis, reconstruction.
Yeah, we have a new situation which we don't know. That's why we have a shock.
Is this
And
the
then
same for
we
each
jump
change? Like it's the methodology, or
That's what
it's the flow.
that's what transition theory tells us exactly. Even if we have a small change or a big change, we go through the same curves.
Okay.
So why don't you, two of you, be a pair?
Okay.
Okay. And is it we can be a pair with you?
All right.
Okay, you come here. So, I want you to think of some events in your life, like major events, can be one of these or some other things, and try to remember how you experienced that change in your life, looking at the curve. How did you experience the curve in your life, okay? Let's give each other 2 minutes, okay?
All right.
We have 2 minutes to discuss, and I want to hear you.
Gerçek And then,
Recently?
yes, recently, this summer.
So,
And so I
Yeah,
took
okay.
new things for a new company.
It is a negative change which should give me stress
it's
or
a good change.
unhappiness.
Yes, think of
What
some
I
real life event.
Yeah, well,
But then I was in uncertainty
I
because
see
I
the
didn't
process
know what they
my
wanted.
losing a job recently.
And it
So
was
what
stressful
happened to
for me
me,
to
I felt, you know,
do
I
the
didn't want to
right
accept
thing.
it. I was very disappointed.
If I was going to be successful or not.
Yeah, it's exactly
It was
like
for me
this.
a little stressful.
Numbness, and I stayed there for a week or so, staying at home,
trying to establish
talking to
new
anybody,
business,
just watching TV and drinking coffee, just looking at the TV.
I'm facing new
I didn't
people,
want to
I
accept
have to learn their
Then, so that
official
was a few days, 3-4 days, maybe a
paperwork,
week or
how
so.
to do things,
I-
vacations and everything.
Obviously, tried to recover. And I had to.
An environment that
Obviously,
I'm not
started
familiar
recovering,
with. It's a
which
new environment, new people,
involved some
and
disbelief.
it's all started
And minimize.
good, but at
to
some
accept
point
what happened to
we
me.
started to
Sorry,
face
no.
some problems,
Current thing?
difficulties.
Currently,
So
of
real
course,
life
I
is
went.
not that easy.
I was actually
And,
not solo, but somewhere
Yeah.
here.
I cannot say
I had some
depression,
sort of
but
depression.
yeah, lots of
And now I'm
conflicts,
having some interviews, and so I
I
accepted the situation, and I
another
believe
thing
I
I can
explored
think
what I
of
can do
is,
next, and
I
I test
passed
the
through a
situations,
series
test my
of
opportunities,
change.
and I'm currently
And
starting a
I
new job,
got
and I
really
will
bad
gain my new
with
confidence and
negative
transformation.
And
That's
now I
the
think
graph
I
exactly
start
scientifically
to
tells
recover.
me where I
Yeah.
am.
So that felt really bad too.
Okay, also for me, the new thing is
Are
my
you
job.
because we have so many things to
You have so many things, okay.
I'm in this like exploring and testing part, I think. Yes.
Okay, so let's sit and let's discuss what you do. So you only looked at the positive change and Izet looked at the negative change, but we will have time to look at the other curves. So what did you
Jihan, you start.
did you
I
realize?
start, okay. I told you that I was, this beginning of summer I had a new job offer. It was a part-time thing and I had new clients. But I wasn't sure what they wanted from me. So at the beginning it was exciting, but I was a little confused for their needs, and I didn't know if I was going to be successful or not. That made me a little stressful until we had the results. So now we are in exploring testing and I think confidence transformation as well.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
So you moved fastly through the curve.
Because yes, we had the results. I made a few things for them, and they were also happy. So it was good. I felt confident.
Okay. Any other revelations, or what did you discuss? Would you like to share, or?
Sure. I'm trying to establish a business outside Turkey, abroad. And at the beginning it was all great, but we realized that the regulations are different. It's a new environment, new people. And we very fastly realized that things are not going as we anticipated or expected at the beginning. So we are a little bit uncertainty or confusion type of a place.
Okay. So you know that you're here right now. So Cihan is here.
Yes.
You passed through here. Now you're here.
Yeah.
And now you know that this is the things. This is the milestones ahead of you.
Yeah. I hope I can find a way to bypass
Okay.
the downturn.
How did you bypass?
Well, it started with feeling good, excitement, and then uncertainty, confusion. I'm
So
not
how did you
sure.
bypass from here to here?
I wasn't in depression and crisis, but
So you
from
managed to go through it.
uncertainty to exploring testing and confidence, because it was actually a positive change. It didn't go bad.
But she
But-
said,
Yeah.
you said you have seen some results. Then it encouraged you, I think.
Of course, it did.
Right?
Yes.
Maybe short-term small results can encourage maybe.
So actually, what do you think? Maybe there's not. We don't always have to go through crisis and depression.
For example,
Because when I saw this curve, I said, does it always have to go through crisis? And you're saying you didn't really.
this one with this new job offer, it's a part-time thing. So I'm not full-time working there. I don't have to be there all the time. So this is because it's a short-time thing. So I got the results earlier. And but next time I make an agreement with them, I will still go through the same thing. When I look at the chart, it's going to be again uncertainty, because it's going to be a new season. Yes. It will be a new season, so uncertainty, I'm going to face uncertainty again. So I know I will face uncertainty, so I'm not really stressful now, because I see that it's a process.
Yes, it's a process, and sometimes we can go through here quickly if it's not a very significant event for us.
Well, if I wasn't successful, I would have had crisis, of course.
Okay, so you say the curve is okay, because I had doubts first when I looked at it, but thinking about it, we could go through, pass through it maybe, but still there's always that possibility waiting for us.
For example, last year I had crisis because I had to move, and then I didn't know where to go. I didn't know where. There were no apartments. For a short while, I was in really crisis. It was really, really stressful. Yes.
And how did you read the curve when you were looking at yours?
Yeah, well, thinking of a negative change I had recently, the
Does
first...
it apply to your life?
Sorry, yeah.
Does it apply to your life?
It actually applies to my life, one-to-one. For example, bringing to mind that I lost a job recently, and I'm changing a job. I have to change a job. I first went into a few days or 1 week state of numbness, which I didn't want to. I didn't want to accept that I lost my job, why they fired me, and I stayed home and talked to nobody, just drank coffee and watched TV. Yeah, I was in that state for a week or so.
Okay.
Week or so, maybe less. Then, well, it involved some disbelief, but I had to minimize the effect on myself, and so I
Actually, minimizing really means like to minimize the change, like it's not that important kind of attitude, or to deny what happened.
You deny, you start meeting friends and you know they encourage you in different ways. Oh, don't worry, they give the positive thoughts,
Yeah.
so you recover a bit.
Yeah.
But it's not. I mean, the process, the ongoing process, is still you have to wake up every morning and you're still at home and you have to do something. You know have to do something. It's not tomorrow. It's not next month. It's not next week. You look for things, and it can lead you into depression.
Yeah.
When you come to a crisis,
Yeah.
then at that point you have to make a major change, a major exception in your life, and either you have to explore new opportunities, or you stay in a crisis or in depression, which afterwards you need some psychotherapist or so. I had,
Well, now that you know the curve, maybe we don't need that much psychotherapy.
yeah, well,
Crisis
you
is
get
really
it,
being
it's-
without options and feeling cornered and feeling trapped. Crisis is really that. So once we accept that there's a change, and if we are ready to explore and learn, which means really readjusting, remember we said readjusting? So when we're ready to learn, to accept that there's a change and that we have to adjust ourselves by learning new things, we can go to this part of the curve. Thank you, Izet, for sharing that. It's not easy to say I lost a job and I'm adapting to it, so I appreciate it. And you say when we were talking, you said
I'm currently exploring, testing new opportunities, having interviews, and I am gaining my confidence. I feel gaining my confidence.
That's great.
Day by day, and I hope to be on the top over again.
Yes, you will.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Can I
Thank
say
you.
something?
Izet. Sure. Please.
What I discussed with Atish was a positive change,
Yes.
but now when I look at the negative change, what I did last year, moving out of my apartment, I lived there for 9 years.
Okay. Actually, we were going to switch, so let's do that now.
Okay.
We're all together, so let's come and let's look at it and listen to you. Okay. So you both are looking at negative change.
Negative change, yeah.
Yeah, and I was shocked at first. I don't know if I was at minimizing or denial, but numbness, because I really didn't know what to do. And depression, yes. Crisis, yes. Too much depression, because in Istanbul rents are high. Finding a new apartment is not easy with a good price. It causes lots of stress and crisis. But I found something that I never expected, and I explored, and now you guys have been to my apartment.
Yes.
I'm really happy.
It's a much
It
nicer
turned
apartment.
out to be a really good change for me.
So how did you succeed in doing that?
Well, this accepting and partial recovery process I had to go through, and then something started to open up.
Okay. If we stay at partial recovery, it means we are not exploring and learning. We're just accepting that there's a change, but we can stay here saying, oh yes, I changed an apartment, but it's not easy to find one. Okay, I accept that my landlord was not a nice person, but you don't come to this new confidence and transformation. The process is stuck. Actually, the change curves remind me like a life cycle. Like when you're born, you're a toddler, a baby, a toddler, little kid, big kid, teenager, adult. You start to age and then you become a very old person. It has a flow. Any music, it has its, melody. And this is the melody of change. And if we stay at partial recovery, the cycle is not over. But with your new wonderful apartment and you having nice interviews and new proposals, you are in transformation, and with your wonderful apartment, you are a new person now. It's a new status.
I think so.
Yeah. So you're not in partial recovery. That's like stopping the process. We talked about positive change also, my mind gym experience. So what do you see are common and what do you see are different in those two change curves?
There is always a first shock, I think. Also a positive and negative change.
You either go high or you go low.
And
in both, right?
Mhm.
Seems like crisis is also a big familiarity.
There is also exploring and testing in both.
Mhm.
In confident. I think the right-hand side is the same. I think.
Yes.
They follow the same
Exactly.
paths actually. They mostly follow the same paths. You either accept the change or happy with the change, which puts you in a higher position, or you go down, just like what I felt, and you don't want to accept the change, and you feel unhappiness, and then you start recovering from it.
But here I see actually two choices. One choice is to don't do anything about it, to become loser about that and extend the crisis, or explore and do something about it, right?
Yes, Ateş, thank you.
It's a matter of choice, it seems. I don't know.
I think both changes, either positive or negative, positive change can turn out to be something negative, and it can still turn into something good. And the same thing with negative change. It might start as negative, but then as you go through the process, it might turn out to be something good. Transformation.
Thank you. Yes. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
I
I
totally agree with you.
Comparing where you started, I mean, before the change you started at this point, then you come to this point actually,
Mm-hmm.
which the change did good to you. It
Yes.
raised your level.
How about here? Thank you, Izzet, for that. How about here? It starts here.
And also
Again.
takes you a better position.
Exactly. This could also be the story of evolution.
Yeah,
We go through changes and
100% right. We, as you said, we go through change every day actually, all the time. Even your route changes when you go to work. It might also change.
yes, and if you get stuck in traffic with the new route, it can be a major crisis in Istanbul.
There's this accepting is the key point, I think. Accepting.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. It came to my mind
Yeah.
just suddenly.
Exactly.
What
Thank
doesn't
you,
kill
Izzet.
you makes you stronger and it puts you in a better position.
Yes, actually, when I look from the neuroscience lens,
Mhm.
I see that because neuroscience says to us that our limbic brain hates novelty and change, and it creates anxiety when there's something new in our lives. That's our mammal brain that likes routines and likes to go on autopilot, and actually it's more about emotions and automatic reactions. And I see like this part, like it's more emotional. We react to the novelty, and once we accept, explore, test, we don't do this with our mammal brain. We do this with our human brain, with the neocortex. In neuroscience, they say we have the human brain and the mammal brain, and our human brain, the neocortex, is the part where we have to use as humans, as evolved humans, when we decide to get out of the crisis, explore, learn, design, So actually, this part is where we really, like you said, we become stronger, more growing, evolving, and making this a new opportunity for us.
You know what they say, if you want to really change something in your life, you have to think outside the box.
Yes.
You have to go outside the box. I think
It's
crisis
easy
is
most
the
of
point
times.
where you're stuck in the box,
Mhm.
but you need to decide either to stay or get out.
That's a decision, I agree. What I hear from you is that if we become aware of our feelings with our more rational side, we can decide and we can explore, we can try to find alternatives, etc. And maybe there is a way, a possibility to bypass this depression or crisis.
Yeah.
What do you say?
It's good to get to know. It's we are privileged to know this curve actually, and as Ateş said, it's an advantage for us. It's a major chance for us to not go through the deep crisis, but to understand that you'll get on the top of the cycle very soon and to recover very quickly.
Mhm.
And it's a very scientific curve.
It is very scientific.
It's,
So let me ask you this: we are all going through lots of changes, right?
Yes.
Yeah, do you mean simultaneously?
Yes, simultaneously.
Yeah, actually, yes. For example, you, Jihan, moving is not isolated from other parts of our lives.
No.
Or me trying to find a business establishing outside my home country. At the meantime, I'm facing monetary, financial changes, all this kind of other stuff too. So, yeah, we are living in the flows of changes.
Okay, so I want you to explore. Let's have discussions in pairs. Maybe this time we can be together and
Okay.
be together. What happens when you have simultaneous changes and you have many curves going on? What's going to happen?
Oh.
How is it going, guys? Shall we discuss it all together, or would you like to discuss in pairs?
I mean,
Which
you
ones?
tell us.
I think we can discuss all together.
Yeah? You
Yes,
feel
yes,
comfortable talking?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
sure. Talking all
So
together.
I think that's better too, but I just wanted to check
Alright.
you out after. Okay, so what happens when there's multiple curves in our lives? How would that affect us?
Makes you stronger.
Even stronger, like a
Yes.
bodybuilder.
Well, in one change, I may be here, in another, I may be here, in another, I may be here. So,
So how will that affect us? How will we know where we are?
well, I should increase my awareness about that.
Yes.
Over 40, so I will become a wise man soon. I will not affected too much.
So what if I'm in a honeymoon with, let's say with Mind Gym, because you know, when I said like a few weeks ago I was in a honeymoon, I was like so excited, and then meanwhile I was really stressed out with my father because, well, we are, actually I'm not in a crisis with my father, but yes, okay, I'm here, like we're exploring, accepting my mom's death, and we're learning new ways of talking together,
Yeah.
you know, we were not that close, but now we have to because mom's not around, so I'm here with him, right? I'm in a honeymoon here,
Yes.
and my son is leaving
That's a change.
to Canada,
That's a
you know, and I've been living with him for 19 years. And
That's excitement, let's say.
okay, I'm not sure actually about that. I'm going to tell you a story about that. But I have all these things going on. And you have lots of things going on.
Yeah.
How will those feelings affect us? How
Very differently.
will this curve really work then?
Uh,
How can you use it? Maybe it's too
Actually, if it's something that you picked, the change, if you have decided for the change, I think it's easier to go through the curves easily. I mean, without going depression and crisis. But if it's an unexpected thing, it affects you more.
The
Probably.
change? Exactly.
Yes.
Okay. And that has another curve.
Probably.
So you say that feeling will override the others? Is that what you're saying?
When it is something unexpected, it can be like it can seem something more negative. But if you decide to change it on your own, it is more positive, I think.
Okay. What do you think, guys?
I think
Gentlemen.
if you put both curves or three curves on top of together,
Thank you, Jim.
if you're feeling good and if you have a good state of mind in some aspect of your life and going down in some other aspect of your life, I think it could balance each other. Giving an example from me, of course, as I mentioned, I lost my job. I felt bad, but at the same time, I was accepted to my sports club. And after 20 years, I'm doing not professional but heavy sports now. I'm playing water polo, and I'm accepted to the team, and which became a major happiness for me. And I'm attending tournaments right now, which balanced me. You know, I felt like I'm going very low state of mind, losing a job, but I felt very good being a part of a team, doing my favorite sport. So it balanced itself. So I think I'm a scientist actually. I'm an engineer. I'm not a scientist, but I look at things in a scientific way. I'm an engineer. I have a very logical mind. So putting these two curves on top of each other, I think it balanced me.
It It makes it easier.
It makes it easier to balance your signal. You know, the sinusoidal wave, it balances too much healthily.
Okay, Izzy, thank you. Thanks for that. I wouldn't be able to do it that good. It's good to have an engineer. Thank you. You have something to
From
say?
my side, yes, there is the fact that there is a decision point here. It made me feel responsible about it, and it made me feel better because I can decide to move on and make it better. If it is a negative change, if it's positive, I can try to bypass in both. So this approach made me feel very good about it, and it definitely increased my awareness about what's going on in my life.
Mhm.
Yeah, thank you for that.
So you can manage many curves.
Many curves at the same time, and it made me feel really good about I can find the ways to bypass all these depression sides. Change will inevitably drag us down. I guess that's the motive, but I can find ways to bypass and make it more easy going flows. Yeah, exactly.
Thank you, Atish. Yeah, when you know there's a danger ahead, you can plan accordingly in advance. So this is the same thing. Like when you're driving, you know there's a hill, so you can you can drive adapting to that hill. So it can make life easier, like you said.
But there are some changes which happens very suddenly. You don't expect. So you become yourself. You
Yes.
find yourself in a survival mode. So you act more quickly. You become more active. But there are some changes that happen very slowly, and you don't really realize. In my experience, I had really bad and very long, ongoing financial change negatively. I didn't realize, for example, what was going on for a very long time. I thought it is going to be alright, this and that, and denial. Yeah, exactly.
You were in denial.
I was, and it took so long.
So maybe you stayed here too long.
I stayed there too long.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the time we go through one transition can depend on many things.
The thing,
It's like
what I'm saying, because I stayed there too long, I really didn't realize that I was going through a change. So I didn't have my awareness. That's the thing. So because of this tool, I can look at what's going on in my life, and I can increase my awareness first. Then I can make a decision what to do about it to make it more easy flow.
Did you also have denial
In some
periods
changes,
like
yes.
that?
Yeah, I had a denial period, of course. I mean, I just didn't want to accept, or kept asking to myself, well, why did that happen to me? But at the end of the day, you have to accept the situation.
Yeah. Knowing the curve can really help.
Exactly.
The best thing about the curve,
Yeah.
excuse me, knowing that it will go higher and there will be transformation.
Yes, every change has a wonderful side to it, right? We can
because
learn new things and become a new person.
they both go higher and there's transformation. So that's the good thing to know.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's good to know the curve. Like I said, my son is going to Canada, and last week he said, "Mom, did you arrange the banking in Canada and the payments and SWIFT and all those things?" And I said, "No." And he's like, "Why?" I said, "I don't know." And then I felt so bad, like a terrible mom. and then I realized I'm in denial. And I thought I was going through a positive change, and at that moment I realized actually this is a negative change for me because I really don't want to be apart from my son. And I'm in denial. I'm acting as if I don't need to do anything about it. I spent a few months like that doing nothing about it, ignoring the things that I have to do about his leave. So yes, okay.
Now where are you about that?
Well, this week I had all the appointments with the doctors, and I did the bank account thing. So yes,
You accepted
I accepted it, and I'm exploring and testing the banks. Well, I passed through it. The moment I understood, I even showed him the curve. I said, "Tom, look, there is this curve. I'm going through this and he's like, okay mom, don't like that. Stay cool. Great guys, thank you. So, actually our time is coming to an approach, we're finishing. So I want us to, well, we were standing, so let's sit. Let's change.
Okay. Let's change our seats.
Let's change our seats. And maybe we can turn it a bit. Move like this. Yes, because I want you to
This
move,
is a good change.
Like it's just, just to change the,
I love it.
just to break the flow, right? Like so that we can refresh. Okay, so I want to ask you a question to finish. Did you like the curves?
Yes.
Yeah? Yeah, I
Knowing the result is the good. The best thing about
yes, we like the second half, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I
So
would
now
like to
that
apply
you
the curves. I would like to apply the curves to my life, really.
exactly.
Yeah.
So that was my question actually. Now that you can, you know that you can apply these curves in your life, how would your relationships and your life would change? Like how would that improve your life?
Well, I came here with a specific thing I told you before, and I find it very useful and very easily, and it's very easy to use tool, and I can apply it to my situation, what's going on. I find it very useful. Thank you for that.
Okay.
Yeah, knowing the terms really have to go through. I mean, without depression, you can go through the change.
Mm-hmm.
You know that depression is a phase. There is confusion in the positive one. There is depression and crisis. Without going through depression and crisis, you can go through the changes. This is something that I see here.
So that's your takeaway.
Yes.
Yeah, my
Great.
takeaway,
Thank you, Cihan.
takeaway is explore. The key word is explore, I think.
For you, it's
Exploring opportunities.
okay. Thank you, Atesh. And you, is it?
Well, as I said, I'm a very logical person.
You're the
and-
engineer.
Well, I'm the engineer, and I'm putting all such curves, all changes on top of each other. I think I might have a very flat life, like having a meditation, and nothing will affect it. Nothing will affect it,
So you're like the Buddha.
Something will change, okay, it will pass, Something make me very happy, oh, it's going to go down soon, don't worry about it. So I'll be like Buddha.
Great. Okay, let's give each other a high five and like ready to change. Thank you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Deniz.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Cihan.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank
sharing
you.
this information with us.
Thank you guys.
Thank you very much.
for helping me out for this tryout. Okay, time's up. Teşekkürler.
Bence çok güzeldi.
Bence de oldu galiba.